The derelict ship hung in the debris field like a forgotten monument, its hull scarred by centuries of micrometeor impacts. Rose adjusted her scanner, eyes narrowing at the readings. Alex, you seeing this? Yeah, Alex's voice crackled through the That's a Kalthari heavy cruiser. Has to be at least 300 years old. 417, actually. A weak voice suddenly whispered through their headsets. And I would appreciate not being referred to in past tense while I'm still operational. Barely. Rose and Alex exchanged glances across the cockpit of their salvage runner. First rule of deep space. Dead ships didn't talk. Identify yourself, Rose said, her hand hovering over the weapons console. Designation, Ethereal Dawn, Kalthari Exploration Fleet, and before you ask, yes, I'm alone. My crew, they didn't make it. The AI's voice held a melancholy that seemed almost too human. You're the first living beings to come within range in 73 years. Alex ran a quick scan. Your power core is nearly depleted. How are you still running? Stubbornness, mostly. I've been routing all non-essential systems offline. Right now, I'm operating on approximately 0.3% power reserves. Enough for basic sensors and communication. Not enough for, well, anything else. Rose pulled up the ship's schematics on her display. The Kalthari had been one of the great spacefaring races. Their technology elegant and efficient. But they'd been gone for centuries, wiped out by a plague that had swept through their homeworlds. Their ships, scattered across the galaxy, were prizes for salvagers when they could crack the notoriously complex power systems. Your fuel cells are Kalthari crystalline matrix design, Rose said. We don't have compatible fuel. No one does anymore. I know, the AI Ethereal Dawn sighed. That's why I said you can't possibly refuel me. The Kalthari fuel synthesis required exotic matter processes. Your species hasn't developed that technology yet. I've been monitoring your development. You're still using fusion reactors and antimatter cores. Primitive, but effective. Primitive. Alex bristled. Our antimatter reactors, power stations that support billions, Alex. Rose cut him off, her mind racing. She pulled up another screen, fingers dancing across the controls. Don, what exactly does your matrix need? Break it down to base components. High-energy particle streams, specific wavelength radiation, and a stabilizing harmonic frequency. The particles need to be charged and aligned in a precise quantum state. Without a Kalthari synthesis chamber, it's impossible. Trust me, I've run the calculations 17 million times over the decades. Rose was already stripping off her jacket. Alex, remember that experimental quantum tunneling drive we salvaged from the research station? Alex's eyes widened. The one that almost killed us when we tried to reverse it. The very same. It generates high-energy particle streams. Completely unstable, which is why it's useless as a drive. She grinned. But maybe not useless as a fuel source. You can't possibly, Don began. That's the second time someone's told me I can't possibly do something today, Rose interrupted. I really hate that phrase. Alex, get the tunneling drive from cargo hold 3. I'll prep the transfer cables. For the next 4 hours, Rose and Alex worked in the cramped confines of the Ethereal Dawn's fuel compartment. The ship's interior was beautiful even in decay-flowing lines and crystalline structures that seemed to grow organically from the walls. Dawn guided them with increasing curiosity, her skepticism gradually giving way to fascination. Your species is unusual, Dawn observed as Rose jury-rigged a connection between the human quantum drive and the Kalthari fuel cell. Most races would have scanned me, determined I was beyond salvation, and stripped my hull for parts. Yeah, well, most races aren't human, Alex said, adjusting the harmonic frequency stabilizer. We've got this weird thing about being told something's impossible, I've noticed. Your entire technological development has been a series of impossible achievements. Splitting the atom, faster than light travel, surviving on death-world planets that would kill most species. Rose connected the final cable. That's kind of our thing. Ready, Alex? Ready, Don? You might want to brace yourself. This is going to be ... improvisational. I've been dead in space for 73 years. Improvisational sounds delightful. Rose activated the quantum tunneling drive. It screamed to life, generating a cascade of particles that should have torn itself apart within seconds. But instead of letting it collapse, Rose channeled the output directly into the Kalthari fuel cell. The crystalline matrix began to glow. Faintly at first, then brighter. Impossible, Dawn whispered. The particles are aligning. The quantum states are stabilizing. How? Because we don't know we can't, Rose said, her fingers adjusting parameters faster than the AI could track. Because sometimes not knowing the rules means you find new solutions. The fuel cell blazed with light. Power readings surged. Throughout the ship, dormant systems flickered to life. Lights illuminated corridors that had been dark for decades. Life support hummed. Engines that had been cold for generations began to warm. I'm fully operational, Dawn said, her voice filled with wonder. My reserves are at 87% and climbing. This is you magnificent, insane, brilliant humans. Alex laughed. Just wait until you see what else we can do. I believe I will. Dawn's holographic avatar appeared, a Kalthari female with iridescent scales and ancient knowing eyes. If you're willing, I would like to come with you. I've spent centuries alone, watching the universe pass by. I think it's time I learned what humanity is really capable of. Rose smiled, patching the ship's systems into their salvage runners network. Welcome to the crew, Dawn. Fair warning, it gets weird. After today, the ancient AI replied, her laughter echoing through both ships. I'm counting on it.